strongly caution, the following programs are intended for mature audiences over the age of 18. These programs may contain some material that many parents would not find suitable for children and may include intense violence, sexual situations, coarse language, and suggestive dialogue.
Happy motherfucking Tuesday. My God, that is a giant fucking ship in the middle of the screen.
Wow.
What ship was that?
That was one of our sponsors. Southern.
Okay.
My bad.
I thought you were sending a ship for us.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, so happy Tuesday. I know everybody's like, what the fuck are you guys doing on Tuesday? So we fucked up our timing on Friday night, forgetting that
We sure
they
did.
are way the hell ahead of us. So we moved
I
it
take responsibility. I do apologize. I'm sorry about that.
You're totally good. You were totally
No
good.
worries.
'Cause I didn't think about it either. And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, they're from overseas. And I texted her, I was like, I think we fucked up. And she was like, what happened? I was like, I'm pretty sure they're like 6-7 hours ahead of us. And she's like, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna hit up Kelly and have her reach out to them. I think we just
God, you guys did. Because I don't know. I thought it was like the East Coast. So I was like, okay, I Googled it. What time would it be where we're at? And it said 2 p.m.
And our maths isn't very good to begin with. So
Speak for yourself. Actually, no, we both should. But when I saw that it was going to be like 2 a.m., I was like, oh. We don't normally mind, but I had a huge issue with my jaw. So I was like, oh, my God.
She's like, I'm going to be like
fucked.
overdosing on painkillers.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I told Kelly, I was like, why don't you just offer them to like reschedule for like Tuesday, like afternoon for us? Because like I'm off on Tuesday, so it'll be perfect. And she was like, okay. She's like, they said they could do it. I was like, no, re-offer. Because like that's really late. Like that's fucked up. I don't want to do that.
I mean, we don't really mind. We're night creatures.
So we've done it before, but
Yeah.
just her jaw. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then Sam's birthday.
don't mind.
So happy birthday, Sam. Yeah, good birthday.
We'll tell her.
We'll tell her.
So you guys are you guys from England or somewhere?
No.
Thank
Okay.
God for that.
No.
I'm just joking.
We're born in France. We're actually from France, but we grew up mostly in
South Africa.
Cape Town, South
Okay.
Africa. And we spend usually about 8 months of the year
On the road.
for like almost a decade. So yeah,
But every year we always tour the UK. And we kind of stuck here.
yeah, we're stuck here until our visa issues get sorted out. But a lot of people think that we're English, and we're like, no, nope.
I think
So-
the accent is what throws me off. Maybe a little bit.
But it's so weird. Everywhere we go, people are like, where are you from?
Even in South Africa, even in France, and we're like,
From here?
Just pick some random spot each time. Just
Yeah.
some. Just
Like
pick a
when we,
place.
say, when we play Liverpool and they have a very specific accent in the UK, then if there's like a heckler, then I'll always like give it back to them, but in that accent. And then after it's like, so fucking hell, which part of Liverpool are you from? And I'm like, no, I'm from South Africa. And they're like, no way, man.
And then even in the USA, we were somewhere. And
We were in Nashville, and
we're like, oh, thank you so damn much. And then people are like, are y'all from the South? And we're like, no.
We're from South Africa.
Yeah. Yeah. Need to work on my Scottish accent, though. It's not very good.
Yeah. Anywhere you come here, it's almost like every state in the U.S. is like a different country with its own dialect and a completely different way of talking.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go places in the South, and they're like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "The South, South Carolina." They're like, "But you don't have the same like." Yeah, all the dialects are different. You talk to somebody from Florida to Tennessee, it's a completely different fucking dialect.
It's true.
So true.
Even like Minnesota, it's more like,
Minnesota.
oh my god, did you go outside yet? I don't know.
You know, like, I can't even.
We'll drink cola.
How did the U.S. react when you guys toured here the first time? Like, did they get into your music at all? Did you actually meet any fans who already knew who you were before?
Yeah.
You got
We love the USA. I think Japan, USA, and Europe in particular, those are like places where our music has always been, what's found its audience, I guess.
Yeah.
Obviously we want to tour like everywhere, like more each place.
And it's funny because before we went, same with Japan, before we performed there and America, people are like, oh, you know, you can't like take your top off on stage there. People are more conservative, blah, blah, blah. But like,
we found some of the most open-minded places. Obviously, not everywhere. We shit like in a lot of places too, but for the most part, I will say
people are pretty like cool. Yeah,
we grew up watching American cartoons. That's how we learned English as well, and our sense of humor is very wacky. So I think also our musical influences are all mostly American. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We felt like a good connection.
Hell, when we were in America, we were living off Burger King.
Yeah.
Burger King.
You know, Cheetos on bread, dude.
Yeah, I'll never forget after this one show, and it was like it was a busy show, and people were like, "Oh my God, it's up, girls! I want to take a picture with you." And then afterwards, then we packed up, and then we were
like starving. We were like,
"Whoa,
fucked.
I'm hungry." And then there was just like a gas station open, and all they had was like Cheetos
because we're vegetarian.
So there was Cheetos and white bread. So we were like, okay, this just gotta
do what you gotta do, man.
And then we were sitting in the van eating this, and I was like, well, look at us. If only they could see us now.
I don't give a fuck.
Living the big life.
We just love. I respect the USA in that people aren't, how can I say, spoiled. People know how to work hard. People like don't mind, I don't know, embracing people that are different. Obviously not everywhere, but for the most part, yeah. I found people pretty actually amazing.
Yeah.
Very friendly.
I think it's funny how many people think like every musician is like absolutely rich and living this like lavish lifestyle and big ass tour buses and shit like that. And it's like, bro, you realize that like 95% of bands, even like bigger bands, are like barely fucking making it and make less
pics on OnlyFans
jobs.
Dude, you know how many people have tour buses just to look cool? We know of bands that hate each other, okay? So they pool their money together
just so they can get this van, and they're like, I fucking hate you.
And then they're playing at these venues, and you're just like, guys, what the fuck?
Like, what is the point?
Like,
and then,
Why does it matter?
yeah.
I'm friends with bands that actually live on their tour bus. Like that is their home.
Yeah.
They don't live they don't have an apartment. They don't live anywhere else. They live on that tour bus unless they can find some friends in different cities to crash with for a couple of days or whatever. Like they live on that fucking tour bus. And a lot of people don't realize like that is what it is. Like that's how it's like, unfortunately, because the way the music industry is now, the only thing when you get on a label, they're taking all your money from fucking CDs. You're not making shit.
Exactly.
You're making shit off of streaming. The only thing you're making money off is pretty much your merch and your live performances, and that's it.
And even then, nowadays, like they still take a cut off the merch, so you have to be careful.
Like some venues.
But we were laughing because at this one or at many venues in America, they had like we would arrive and then they would have these massive like cones.
And we were touring in like
bus.
a mom car, like
in a
mom,
soccer mom van.
Yeah,
like that was our
it
tour
was cool.
van.
We're grateful, but
so then we'd pull up and they'd be like, no.
No. But picture this: so our face was squished against the like a mirror, like your nose, like fucked up, everything.
There's
clothes
van,
and everything covering
like,
us.
Equipment,
our legs
everything.
are like up, like we trying to like squish into the car.
And we rock up to the venue, and then
as you open the doors, like bottles fall out, like clothes, everything.
And they say, no, you can't park here. This is for the soap girls.
Tour bus, and we're like,
bus. And
we're here, man.
Here's the tour bus. Beep, beep.
And then, yeah, like.
But this one venue, one of the people working there, they didn't know that like the changing room was like right there. And then I heard the guy say, "It's like I don't think they know what a bus is in Africa." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah, and then our manager was out, and she's like, "What did you say?" And then like, "Oh no, we were just joking, man." And then it was funny as hell. Yeah.
You're gonna get that. You're always gonna get that. I mean, most of the bands around here, they do get the tour buses or whatever, but a lot of them don't even own them. They're renting them, and then renting a bus is astronomical.
Dude,
so
I would
stupid.
never bankrupt myself
to look cool or like I'm making it.
Mm-hmm. I've seen so many. I know, like I've been friends with so many bands that they went on their first tour, and that ended the band because they bankrupt. Like they went broke, and even some of them, I've seen some of them not even finish tour because they were broke halfway through tour and couldn't even get to the next spot. Like they were done.
You know, with your accent, can you please say this? Can you say from hero to zero?
From hero to zero.
Yeah.
Oh no, here we go.
Oh, God.
So, you guys growing up, how did you? Because I know you guys are sisters, right?
What? I don't know.
How are you, man?
Are you?
How did you guys get into music? Like, what was your big introduction into music? And you were like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to be a musician because of this. Was there a certain band or instance that made you decide to do that?
It's a funny thing because we never consciously thought about it. We've always been surrounded by music. Our mom plays music. There are a lot of like musicians, like from distant family relatives that were musicians as well.
But for me, I used to watch, there was a TV channel, it was called VH1 Music. And they played like all like the rock and roll like classics. And then I was like, whoa, I want to do that.
But when we watched the movie The Wedding Singer, what happened? We heard the song White Wedding.
Yeah, by Billy Idol.
And Steve Stevens guitar playing on that. We were like, fuck, we want to play guitar. And from that moment, that's what we wanted to do. And also to entertain people. It's something that's always been intrinsic to who we are.
Like even as little kids, we'd always like, I don't know, make up weird little plays and that for people.
And I remember like always just wanting to sing. Like that was just, I think it was the first memories I have just singing. Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So as far as y'all's touring, what is probably your favorite place that you've ever been to so far?
It's a very difficult question to answer. And like, we don't ever try to be like, I don't know.
Favorite one place to
how about favorite venue? What's your most favorite venue that you've played?
Okay, that's an even worse one because there's so many different ones for different reasons. I mean, we just shot a music video in one of our favorite ones in a place called Hull in England. It's like called the New Adelphi Club.
And it's got a lot of history there.
It's really fucking cool.
Like a proper like grunge rock and roll.
But my favorite place to tour, I'm just going to say Japan. Just it's the most unique place ever. So I'm going to say Japan.
What's it like there? Like what's the whole culture and the way that things are set up?
The culture is so different, so it feels like you are on another planet.
Yeah, people are so respectful about music and just freedom, I guess. So you never feel, how can I say, like stuck. You feel so creative when you're there. You just see how everything is.
And they take such attention and care even into the smallest thing, like a little chocolate packaging.
Like nothing's boring. So it's a visual like feast for your eyes, and even the way that music is. They have Tower Records there still, and you can go in and they take it so seriously and in the best way.
And even doing shows there, like the fans are, it's so sweet.
They're the best like fans. They're just so like, I don't know, into the music.
Oh, you said they're the best fans. Oh,
okay. Well, everywhere for different. I'm just gonna say,
I done did it now.
I'm bowled over by how people appreciate music and art there.
And also their culture. It's such a strong culture. Like it's such a strong culture. When you're there, then it's like, whoa, well, we do things like this where we're from. So, and this is so different.
Yeah.
So on tour, and you guys, as far as bands that we've done big to small, but you guys are definitely one of the more veteran as far as like making a career out of traveling and being on the road and touring constantly. There's got to be an instance. What is like the worst fan experience you've ever had? Like crazy or more?
We don't really know where to start with that. There's
been many,
and some we have to because there's some proper psychos out there, man.
We've had, I wouldn't say
okay,
fans.
Can I just psychos? Okay, so one of the worst ones was we got invited on our first tour in England to play at a venue, and we drove like 6 hours in this like really fucked up car. We had no idea. We didn't even have GPS. We had no data, nothing. So we were using a map and we were getting lost. We made it to this place, some seaside town, and the owner of the venue literally got us there to have us attacked at his venue.
It was the most fucked up thing,
dude. Like I my brain to this day, I'm just like, what the fuck? We were kids as well, so it was even worse. And our first time ever touring out of South Africa, we were just horrified.
We were like shell shocked.
And so we had like what they called fake blood, but it was vinegar and other shit that melted a lot of our stuff. Thrown with red food coloring, thrown all of us third song in to our set, and the owner of the venue didn't even like managed to have the balls to stay there. He got his girlfriend and a friend to do it,
and when our manager tried to stop the woman, his girlfriend in particular, from
smashing the mic
into her mouth, then she got held back and got punched in the stomach repeatedly.
And then the bouncer comes out afterwards. Oh, I was in the toilet. Sorry.
I didn't see anything.
And the camera's not working today.
But also, like the cherry on the top was a dog came on the stage after the show was done and shat on the stage.
And then the song "Dancer" by Elton John was playing. I can't listen to that song again. It just gives me bad flashbacks. Like song.
Why were they attacking you? Like, what was the purpose of this attack?
Guy came out afterwards, apparently because he felt that we were damaging to the feminist movement because of how we choose to dress on stage,
and we are sellout sluts.
And how dare we call ourselves punk? We've never called ourselves punk, so we're just like. What?
Okay.
So yeah,
a male was talking about feminism.
I was very
and we didn't understand like what the fuck, and we didn't even name the venue itself. The guy came out like super proud, and apparently a lot of other people had been abused, but they'd never spoken out because of all the like the
backlash. So it's like, one of those people that's a bully, and they've got a gang of bullies, and then they'll like wait for someone to speak out, and then they'll all go for you.
So I think that changed me. I mean, like imagine you're on stage, you're just doing your thing, minding your own business. It's a very hostile environment that you're in. People were already rude and shit before, like, oh, South Africa, you're racist, what are you doing here? And it was awful. And like to be attacked like that when you're just vulnerable, I looked up, I was just like, what the fuck happened to me? And I looked at her face, every inch of her face and the eyes were red,
like the whites of my eyeyes were just red,
and it like burnt. It was just horrible. So that's the shittest thing. Then we've had people after a show like hiding in the back room. Yeah, but then you've had people steal your like stage outfits, steal like stuff that you wear on stage. We've had in Iowa. Okay, this was kind of funny though. Okay, so this woman, remember the Iowa one? How hectic can the language get on here?
Go.
Okay, cool.
So we
picture this. Wait.
So we play this show in Iowa. People are fucking cool.
It was fucking awesome. So there's this woman that looks like Muriel from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
So
Okay.
like an elderly woman, and
Okay.
she stripped down to her like panties and bra, and I was like,
Damn,
that's
people
so
are fucking cool here,
Like,
man.
yeah, she's bad.
She's living it, man. Like losing her shit.
And then like I was like, oh, this is so cool. Then after the show, she came to talk to me when I was at the merch, and then the more she was talking, I was like, okay, she's not like
There.
she's not there. She's not like, you know, like
Coherent.
kind of. And then she looks at me and she's like, yeah, I'm on meth. And I was like, oh, okay.
And then no,
Hey.
my favorite. I overheard this. You're like, you know, you can do so much better for
And she's
yourself.
like,
You don't
yeah,
need to.
my boyfriend just got out of jail. He beats me, but I do lines off his dick.
And then it
And I
just
was just
started
like-
getting worse.
I was like, no. You didn't just say what I said.
Way worse. It
And
just,
she's like, the stuff that was coming out of this woman's mouth, I was like, oh my. I was like, somebody come and listen to this, because I can't just be the only one whose mind is
Like, are you sure?
no, after the show, she was like trying to convince us to let her ride in the squished car, like to like find some meth. And we were like, no.
no.
Sorry, man.
Yeah.
Like just what the no. Then the one other time we've had someone, it was also on the first tour of England. It was in 2015. This guy was really weird. He was wearing an Abraham Lincoln
Like top hat.
and like beard. And
And
he just stood in the corner.
But he was a guy that had been sending us videos of himself singing through his foreskin, like
Of his dick.
of his
And he
dick.
put like eyes on it, and
And,
it
like,
was just like,
At first, when he saw the videos, we were like, "What is that? Oh my,
oh my
god!"
god, like what the fuck? Okay,
And then like very specific letters as to how
he's gonna murder me,
Sam and Millie, and tie them to the train tracks and murder them.
and we're just like,
I'm
okay.
fine. I'm cool.
Yeah,
But
she's
they
cool.
were
The
they
chosen
were-
one,
I'm
the
the
chosen
chosen
one.
one. But
So-
these guys are getting murdered.
Why is it always me? Fuck, man. Okay, so anyway, this guy comes to the show and he's standing in the corner. He doesn't talk to anyone.
And we were like, "Oh my god, that's the guy."
And then as we leave the show afterwards, he comes running up with this box and he says, "Yeah, this is for you."
But he like threw it into the van, and then we were like, "Oh
Ooh.
no!"
So
and then he ran. So we opened it. There was like, I don't know. There was
every kind of drug, we were just like, no, like get rid of this thing now.
they like drop kicked it out.
And as we were leaving the parking lot of the venue, a whole
Like-
lot of police turned up. So what the
So
fuck?
he obviously like did that and then called the cops.
Dick.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. So some really strange things have happened. We've had people. What else has happened at the? It's mad. A lot of people have left the shows in ambulance. I don't know. One time.
Also, there was one show it was Sam's birthday, and this guy came to the show with a box of acid-laced brownies.
Oh God.
We didn't know there was acid in these brownies.
No, they were.
Of course they didn't tell you.
And it was in the pizza box. So Sam was just like giving them to everyone.
And
Had a good time. Huh?
were fucked.
There was a guy, he
He thought his shoes were trying to kill him.
He was screaming and trying to like walk. I didn't eat those cookies.
I unfortunately was, and I had been drinking the night before and I was quite hungry. So I thought there was only weed in them. And I thought, a little bit, 10 hours from now, I'll be okay.
And then we had to do a show like this. But Sam gave the support band also this. So I was just like watching this.
I was just
I
stood
was
on
like,
stage
oh my
with my
God.
pupils like big, sweating that I couldn't move. I was like, I'm gonna die.
Picture like people terrorized but stuck in their own skin and trying to play music and then like looking at each other like, uh-oh, like. what's
Did you
going
hear
on?
that?
I don't know. I've seen some photos from that show. People send them. They said they won't put them out. It was funny.
Yeah.
Strange shit. None of our shows are ever like a textbook. You never know what's going to happen.
Mm.
That is absolutely. I've never, ever in my years of radio and doing interviews, have I ever heard shit that bad.
Do you want to hear the worst one?
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a few bad ones. Okay, so okay, I'll do one where my temper didn't get the best of me. Okay, because sometimes
Yeah.
bad shit happens. People fuck around and they find out. So this one, we used to have this voodoo drink that we had called the One-Eyed Willie, and it was a bottle that we'd get people to cut bits of their pubes and
And then
beard
stick
hair,
it on the bottle.
and it was covered in pubes, and it had this like a ruler that was in
The shape of a dick.
and it had eyes on it, and it was fun, and we'd put all kinds of alcohol in it, and
Like every kind of alcohol that you could think of. Like
people would get up on the stage if they were brave enough, and I would drink some because I wouldn't make someone do something I wouldn't do myself.
like it was probably the equivalent alcohol content of like moonshine.
So
Yeah.
people would get on stage, and we always said to people, if you can handle your alcohol, do it. Don't drink too much.
Drink as much as you want.
As
Like
you can
no one's
handle.
forcing you, then just drink as much as you can.
But obviously people
Go overboard.
Don't do that.
free will
Yes.
and all that shit. People
Yes.
go way too crazy.
So
This one show we had, it was in a hotel in Scotland. They like booked out the lobby and everything, and wasn't that one? No, it was at the top of a bar. Okay.
Yeah.
And we had a guy in a gold mankini
Mhm.
get onto, there wasn't even a stage, it was just like flat ground. And so this guy got on stage with us. while we were
Everyone was
playing.
getting pelted with flour and eggs.
And
That
then
was part of the show.
Yeah, then we called for a volunteer to come up on stage and have some of the alcohol. So
Sip of the thing.
this guy volunteers himself, like literally runs.
This
to where we're
little
at.
guy comes up on stage, he takes a big swig, and then he runs off, and then
He's sitting down on this table.
and then the show is like carrying on, whatever. Someone hits him in the head with an egg.
Because
This
his eggs
guy-
were getting pelted.
This guy goes down like a sack of shit. Like
he
he's
falls.
down.
And we carry on playing, but he's not getting up.
And then we were like,
No, so
think-
we said, please, can someone like hit the guy, like just check that he's okay.
Like,
Like,
something's
not
wrong there.
man. Like fuck.
and he wouldn't get up. Like he wasn't waking up. And we were like, oh, so we were like, oh no, you need to stop the show.
And then people are like,
But the-
carry on playing, and we're like,
Scottish
no,
people
no,
are like,
no,
do
no,
it, do
no.
it. And we're like, no,
Stop the show now.
So they call the
No,
ambulance.
they were like trying to like revive him, everything. And I even said to our manager, I was like, yo, we're going to jail. I was like, fuck, you need to go to jail.
Because we can't go to jail.
Yeah, we're like, you will go to jail, man.
You have to take it.
We're
For us.
taking the rap today.
But the owner of the venue locked the doors and he said, I'm warning all of you.
Same story.
He said, everyone better stick to the same story. He said, the reason why he's taking the stance, the guy has one fucking kidney. He just had
A kidney taken out or whatever, and he shouldn't be drinking.
he says he's the village idiot. And he said, so he deserves it, whatever.
So he called his wife. His wife came down. She was not impressed with her husband. And then the ambulance came. So picture this scene. Everybody half naked, covered in shaving foam, flour, and eggs. And then the ambulance, the paramedics walk and they're like, what the fuck is going on?
They're shocking this guy, like
He
using
resuscitated
yeah,
him.
and then they carried him out in this like silver blanket, and we were all just like,
He wasn't dead.
No.
He wasn't dead. He didn't die.
He didn't die, but we were just like, oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
that was very fucked
Yeah.
up.
And also it's, in Germany, a ambulance was also called because somebody like they were just out.
But the guy was on drugs before he drank the drink.
It wasn't our drink.
Jeez, man. Like what the fuck?
And then the German people are like, oh no, we take selfie with him in the ambulance.
So everyone was posing in the ambulance with this guy. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. We don't do that drink anymore. But
Yeah.
yeah, there were some times I was like, oh fuck.
yeah.
Oh,
That
shit.
is the most I've never heard no shit
People
like
were hitting this guy. He wasn't, and we were
Like,
like,
he wasn't waking up. We were like, oh no, he's dead.
fuck. Yeah.
I mean, in all my years of being in a band and touring and going to shows and being in radio, I have never ever heard of no shit like that.
And then the drummer was a Jehovah's Witness. Sorry to mention that, but just because like he wasn't like into that kind of shit. He was drumming and he was eating strawberries while all this was going down. We had
Like very like, oh.
Yes.
I will never forget that. I was just like, oh my god, okay. I don't know.
I don't even know what to ask next because that just fucked everything I could.
Oh, and then also in America, before we played a show, was it North Carolina or South Carolina? I cannot fucking remember. We were trapped in a.
Oh yeah. So when we arrived at this venue, I will say the people there, they weren't that
They
friendly.
were fucking rude.
They were fucking rude. We were like, damn, so much for Southern hospitality.
asswipes. Yeah. But anyway,
And so they were like super
there's
hostile.
no changing area for
Use the
y'all.
disabled toilet.
Okay.
And we were like, okay.
Whatever.
So that's fine, but you don't have to be like rude about it. But so we get in this
Toilet.
disabled toilet. It's us, our manager, and then the drummer, because we all need a place to like,
So-
get ready. And so we're all in there, lock the cubicle. Then we hear this like big commotion, this woman's shouting. and then-
Lord, take the wheel.
and
we
we're
were
like, oh,
whoa,
what's
what?
going on?
Who's driving what?
And then so
It turns out this lady got really drunk
she got stuck in the cubicle.
and she's too big to get
like,
up, and
move
she
or-
like
and
fucked
she's-
herself over, like she's
she's
fucked.
stuck. She's just stuck in this thing.
And we didn't want to laugh because obviously, like, fuck, it's bad, but it was
But
really
it was-
funny. The shit that she was saying
I would
was
laugh.
like,
I would be in
When the
trouble.
paramedics guys came, she's like, "Wow, you're good looking.
She
Can
was
I have
like-
your number?" And then they're like, "No, ma'am."
have you had anything to drink?
She's like, "No.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm drunk.
Might be one."
And then the shit, she was just saying this fucked up shit, and we were late for the show because we were just trapped in there. Took 5
You're
people to get her out. It was
Yeah.
just, it was funny. Bad, but very funny.
And also in America, your toilet cubicles are so weird. It's like it was made by a voyeur. Like you've got this
When
like,
I'm
space.
in there, I'm just like,
And then
this,
like even in the like I've been having a shit in one of your toilets, and then I'm like making eye contact with someone that's washing their hands, and I'm just like,
the gap between the doors, it's like, hey there.
it's like, you know, a cat in a litter box, like you want your privacy, man.
Yeah. you are.
And someone
I hate that they make them so small because I'm tall. And then they get the ones that are way down on the floor. I feel like I'm just shitting on the floor. I might as well just, fucking pop a squat outside.
No, but in America, I always feel like someone's gonna be like underneath, like, hey, how's
I've
your day?
had people do that. I've had people do that.
You see what I'm saying? It's
Fucking
too
hell,
big.
man.
That space
Yeah.
is too big.
It is.
I had
Kids.
a drunk
Kids
guy.
do that a lot.
I had a drunk guy pee on my feet one time in the urinal.
Were you wearing flip flops?
No, thank
Who's your sandals?
No, I was not. That because I would have been really super pissed. I mean, I was already mad, but yeah, we were sitting there. I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, the stream comes from like underneath the thing, and it's like hitting me in the side of the foot and spraying. I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?"
Maybe he was doing that willy copter while he was pissing.
Could have been.
Actually, that brings me to another story.
Oh, jeez.
I was actually at a big metal and hard rock festival down in Florida. Welcome to Rockville.
Okay.
And we go in there, and I'm standing in line to go to use the urinals or whatever. And there's this guy. We've got the wall urinals. They're all lined up. And there's this guy that walks up. You could tell he's super drunk. I mean, he could barely stand. He's wobbling back and forth. He goes, "Well, I guess he had his dick pierced at some point and didn't have the piercings in." And whips it out and pisses in two different directions against the guy.
Like a sprinkler.
I'm like, oh, here we, and it did. It turned into a fist fight. There's piss going everywhere. Two people
Why
beating the shit out of him. I mean, it was just fucking like WWE wrestling right there in the damn fucking bathroom. And I'm just like, I'm gonna use the other
All the
bathroom.
dang dangs out. They just flying around.
Yeah,
Whip them up.
bad. I'm like,
You
yeah,
know,
no, I'm done.
as a man, would you say, like, let's say if a guy wanted to fight you, if you just took off your clothes and then you took your shit and smeared it on yourself and you were like, okay, let's go, do you think they would run?
Probably.
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like that's what I would do.
Yeah, no.
Smart move, but I don't want to use
not.
shit.
I'm not,
Like, I'll use something else.
somebody else could do that. I ain't doing it. I'm good.
The thought kind of goes to my mind, like, when someone's giving you shit and you're just like, you know what, you don't realize how close I am to the edge. Because I get invasive thoughts, but I don't stop myself from like acting
on
out.
them.
And then when I'm busy doing it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm fucking doing this. Oh, okay. Yeah. Nothing really bad, but sometimes I think it's kind of funny if someone's trying to mess with you and then you do the most insane thing. And people are like, what the fuck? She's fucked. And then they run. Then you're like, yeah, makes sense.
Absolutely nuts. So everybody hang tight real quick. We're going to have a quick commercial break and we will be right back.
Ooh.
All right, and we're back from those quick ass commercials.
No, I forgot where I was after that.
I was like, discover new places.
Wow.
Yeah. That would be one of our sponsors. So Southern Oasis Travel, y'all want to get a cruise, you want to go somewhere, hit them up on Facebook and they will help you out.
Hey, rock on.
Good.
Anyway, so moving on. Actually, I got a really good question for you because you guys are very unique with your music and performances.
Oh, thank you.
Is there any bands that you would love to do a tour with? Like, name me like 3 bands that you would love to go on tour with.
Oh, okay. Again, sometimes the answer's like right there, and then other times, okay, I'm gonna have to think now.
Jane's Addiction.
Oh, Jane's Addiction would be fucking insane. Like, yeah. It's a really tricky one. Like, you see, because our music's very difficult to categorize. Smashing Pumpkins. It's tricky because sometimes we'll love a band, but it's like, no, we would not work with that. Yeah. Maybe Helmet even would be pretty cool.
Okay.
No.
I get a lot in that question actually, because I always ask that question of everybody. We've heard Helmet like 3 or 4
Their
times.
music's fucking badass. I see that you're unoriginal. Okay, fine. Okay, so Smashing Pumpkins, Jane's Addiction, and then wait, one other one then. Think about it, hero.
I'm thinking about
Okay, come on.
I'm sure it changes too. Like the more that you get to meet people and learn who they are, and like it's not always just playing on stage, but sometimes you want that, like that's a cool person I'm playing with.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
what
No
about
Doubt would
Fuzzy?
Be cool, or Local H or Fuzzy. Yeah. I don't know. It just depends. I think sometimes we've had like this like idea that someone's going to be super cool, and then you
meet
just
them
show
and
you're
you're
like, ooh, well, yeah.
that was so cool.
I don't know. It's a very tricky one to answer, but yeah, any of those bands are really, really fucking cool.
Have you guys ever had like any bad altercations with another band?
Oh, all the time. Yeah.
Really?
It was
Do you know how many fucking rude bands there are?
Okay, so
Like,
many times we'll
fucking
get to the show, and we've had
I know this is my favorite.
They pour water and beer all over my pedals, which I am like super pedantic about.
No, that's why when we meet bands and play with bands, and we're like, wow, you guys are actually really nice, because there's a lot of times where we've arrived at a venue and they won't say 2 words and they're fucking rude. There was a band that we played with, and we played quite a few shows with them.
Unfortunately,
last year, they were, except the one band member, he was cool, but he just joined. But the rest of them, oh my God, like so much for fucking. See, this is the problem too. People think like, oh,
all women bands are gonna get
along.
along.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Fuck that.
If someone's a cunt, they're a cunt. Like,
so like sometimes people will be like, oh, we'll have all girl bands, and
we're
it's
like, no.
Why?
Like, I don't play music so that I can be like, oh, look at me, I'm a girl, I play guitar. Fuck you. No.
Like it's just stupid. I mean, don't get me wrong. More like it's great that more women are getting into music.
But that's not the reason why that they're great. Like they play good music, not because they got a vagina, but because they play good.
So then you get these people and they're like, oh, cool. So let's put on like a whole lot of girl bands,
and it's a fucking bitch fest.
We don't care for that shit, but the way that they behave, we're just like, oh my God.
It's like, dude, we're not about that, man.
And then we've had like, what other shit has gone down?
My favorite is though, you'll get bands and then on social media be like, oh my God, we love you. You meet them in real life, they don't have 2 words to say to you, and you're like, wait.
I always laugh because she gets sucked in by that. I'm just like, nah, bro.
I'm the worst person. I always see the nice part. I'm like, no, it's fine. They're nice. Yeah. And then we meet them, and then I'm like, oh God, why?
Yeah, it's
that sucks.
Yeah.
It is. I hate when that, because I've experienced it myself too before, where it's like you meet a band online and then you find out you're playing a show together. It's like, all right, cool, fucking let's be friends, let's, hang out, whatever. And then you get there and it's like,
there's some bands that are genuinely fucking cool, like even in the USA, like that's the nicest. We'll always like say a shout out to them, and like I would love to play shows with them again.
But it always makes me laugh. They will be fucking rude, and they'll be like, "Oh, can we use your equipment?"
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'll let you use it, but just know that I fucking hate you touching anything of mine.
But oftentimes, like when there's like a shit like issue with them, then they'll like pour crap all over my pedals.
Or this one band, they put bubblegum in the back of her bass head, like actual chewing gum inside the input. Yeah.
Or what else has happened to me before? Then strap locks disappear off the bass, or you're just like, what the fuck, man?
Or suddenly someone, like, they use the drummer's kick pedal, and suddenly like the chain, you can see it's been cut, and you're just like, wow,
what the fuck?
That's
Or
ridiculous.
they'll arrive at the venue before you and then tell
the sound people, oh, we don't need a sound check. We don't need a sound check.
Meanwhile, we're the only band not playing on a backtrack.
They're playing on a backtrack, but we don't need a sound check.
Okay. So yeah, it's bitchier than a beauty pageant, and that's coming from male bands.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's horrendous. Not always though. Like sometimes it's great.
And also there's I remember when we first when we like supported bands and that, we would fucking never like
overplay our set time.
The set time, number one. Number two, we would never take up all the merch space.
But you get these people, and then it's like,
are you fucking having a laugh? Like,
yeah,
yeah.
No, they're just naturally that rude. And that's just sad.
It is pretty shit,
like,
though.
Honestly, there's like no respect. So it's like, okay, you don't want to respect me, then
there was one bad incident. Okay, I'm gonna have to talk about it though. We got banned from a venue for it. It was in Germany. It was a really big venue. They asked us to play 4 years later. Like,
yes,
the band
I think they forgot about it.
But so we had a support band, and they were all like neo-Nazis, and they were really horrible, and we didn't know this.
And they played like cock rock music.
And they locked us in the back room, and we needed the toilet. And the only way out was through the stage.
And obviously it was locked.
And they were playing on stage, so we were fucked.
So
and
I pissed in a bin.
No, our manager's fine. Show them how it's done. She got the lead singer's favorite mug, his personal mug. Took his mug. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life.
She shat like a perfect, like...
We were dry, retching everywhere. I cannot explain how wrong it looks.
When you see something like shocking, like, and you just like
you think you'd be okay with seeing an eyeball in a glass. I'm telling you, you won't.
Like a shit.
No, just we were throwing up. So I pissed in a pint glass or a pot plant or something, and then they came in, and then the band threw the biggest tantrum of all time.
And they shouldn't lock you away like a freaking prisoner.
When they had what is like try to disrupt our show, like with all these horrible like tattoos and stuff
to stab, and
So I had enough. I downed the rest of the bottle of whatever I was drinking, smashed the bottle, jumped off stage, and like went at this guy, and he ran. But it was so stupid. But yeah, that was pretty bad. So again, like you have some bands, and it's like, why did you want to be the sport?
Like, you hate us.
Like, what is just weird?
Yeah.
You guys should be uplifting each other and watching each other grow and make music better. I mean, that's what it should be.
Because it's like hard enough already. So why don't you help each other?
Oddly enough, like sometimes we've played, that's the funniest mix though, like a death metal band and us, and they're usually really cool.
It's funny. Some of the most like intense bands as far as like metal is concerned are like the nicest people in the world. And it's like, because I play in an extreme metal band, and I love everybody. Like, I will go up and talk to every single band. I'll go up and talk to anybody, fans, whatever. I mean, we ain't big or nothing like that, but like, I still give that respect. Like, I'm going to go talk to everybody. I'm going to shake everybody's hand. I'm going to say hello. I'm going to introduce myself, and I'll even, put them out on my social media account. But you always have that one or two bands every single time that have to act like a jackass.
Yep.
It's so weird though, but I don't know if they think that it makes them seem cool, but
you'll get like a support band, and then they'll get their friends to come and then try and like heckle you.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you follow that band, like, you're making them look terrible.
Yeah.
Yep. And I've seen it. And I've seen bands like say terrible shit about each other that isn't even fucking true. Like, oh, that fucking guy was trying to mess with a underage girl, and that guy fucking raped this chick at a venue.
It's so bad,
fucked up.
Dude.
Like,
the one session drummer, we shouted at him for this. He was a fucking idiot. Okay?
We said to him, and I even know this. if another band says to you like, "Oh, do you want to come see my tour bus?"
Don't go on the tour bus. What do you think is going to happen on the tour bus?
What's going to happen on the tour bus?
So the one girl from another band, this woman, invited the drummer onto the bus, and he's like, "Well, I've never been on one of these."
And then she demanded that he do stuff. And then he was obviously like, "Whoa, no, I've got a girlfriend."
What the fuck? And then he tried to back out, and he said that she looked at him like hate. And we said, "Dude, you're gonna get some."
And our manager was like, "Where is he?" And then she ran onto the bus and she said, "Get the fuck off the bus now."
Yeah, because shit like that, you gotta be so careful.
Someone, I don't know, and then they say something, and
we've had support bands also running around spreading rumors that we are white supremacist neo-Nazis, yes. And then we've had shows cancelled. What the actual fuck?
That happened in America.
Everything we stand against, and it's like, oh my god, are you fucking kidding? But yeah, people believe what they want,
and also people are paid sound guys to like make sure the sound was fucked.
Yeah,
I my cousin, I just pulled her into like the whole radio thing. She'd never been in radio, never done anything, and we got I've had this station going for about 5 years. And I told her, I said, would you want to do this with me? And she was like, fuck, sure, I'll do it. And I'm like, well, before you do, let me tell you about how bad it can get. Because in the entertainment industry, it is one of the most cutthroat, if not the most cutthroat industry that you could get in. And you're going to get people that act like your friend. And then the minute you turn your back around, they're going to say something really bad about you that didn't happen, doesn't exist, whatever they can do to get rid of the competition, because it's so damn competitive. But if you really think about it, it really isn't competitive. It's on you. Like the record labels are pretty much almost completely dead. With internet coming out, you can be a self-proficient band without having a record label. Because really, if you sign with a record label now, you're really fucking yourself and you're going to end up going bankrupt.
It's true,
we went there already. I mean, we kind of did the whole music journey in reverse. So when we were kids, we used to street perform and sell soap to raise funds for hospitals and children's homes in Cape Town, South Africa. And we would street perform, and then we were signed because we thought it was the best thing that we could ever do. We didn't have the money to like record and do all that shit ourselves, and like to put out an album. So we were doing demos and working in different studios, but we wanted to get signed to a major label. There was no other way,
because you were like, oh, that's how it is. Like you get signed and boom.
Yeah, your whole life's made. And so we're very naive. That way. And no, 14 and 15, and it was hell. Like it took us 4 years to get out a really bad contract,
and it was the shittest time ever. Like you don't own anything.
We were so broke. You're going to all these fancy events and that, and meanwhile you're starving. So when they had like a free buffet, we were like,
fucking take a bag. Yeah. Even the only time like they'd say, oh, so and so from the Universal is flying down for a meeting, and I would be like, okay, what day is it? Okay, cool. We're gonna get a meal.
Yeah.
And then we try and research what menu has this fucking restaurant got, because we were that hungry. We're like, okay, what are you gonna order?
Yeah.
And then if they cancel the meeting, we were like,
It was horrendous. If you went on a radio station and you voiced support for something that they didn't agree with, like like gay rights and things like that, then you'd be called into this whole big meeting, and oh my god, like it was just hell. Whatever you wore was scrutinized. Everything you said, like you literally could not have a mind of your own.
But even the only places that we could perform were like
gay bars.
Yeah. Because it was underground, and like they were like, okay, cool, you can play your stuff here.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. But we didn't enjoy being with.
But again, when they found that out, they're like, oh, well, you need to choose. Are you going to be a family friendly, or and we're signing you, or you choose them and it's done.
Yeah, but the thing was, because we got out of the contract. It took us forever, and we literally told them to fuck off. We were then blacklisted in the music industry there, so it was a horrible time for us, and we were completely fucked.
So we know all about people trying to sabotage.
Yeah.
We do not bad. Like I'll meet younger bands, and I'll go into town and watch bands play when they come through. And that's the first thing I'll tell them. They're like, oh yeah, we're about to sign with this major label. I'm like, don't do it. Telling you right now, don't fucking do it, because
people should believe in themselves more. You know what it is? It's because people don't realize that you can do so much more for yourself now. Like, you know, years before, like, fuck, even when we were signed, social media wasn't what it is right now. So it was actually very difficult. It would have been so much better for us. But you don't need a record label.
It's the same, I guess, as like you'll get someone that is really beautiful and they want to get signed to, let's say, a modeling agency, but like nowadays you can just do it yourself.
Yeah.
You could be your own agent.
Yeah.
That's like one of the best pieces of advice I ever took. I was working for another radio station, and I was doing a festival up in West Virginia called Metal in the Mountains, in which my radio show at the time, I actually dressed up. My radio show, I dressed up as a killer clown, and I interviewed people as this crazy looking fucking clown. And I was hosting shows and shit like that, going on tour with bands, and I was doing stuff on stage, sideshow stuff. And this guy from another big band here in the States, he was like, you know, I'll watch your show. You want to take some pictures with me? I said, sure. Took some pictures, and he was like, well, I heard this other radio station talking to you, trying to hire you. I said, yeah. And he goes, they're going to try to own you. He goes, don't do it. He goes, you can do this all by yourself on the internet. He's like, the internet is so vast. He's like, you don't need it. Start your own radio station and do it yourself. And I said there about it, and I was like, I wonder. So I called my manager. I had a show all the way in Utah after that. So we're driving cross country to Utah, and I called my manager. I said, man, do you think this is like a legitimate thing? He goes, yes, it doesn't matter if it goes from a band to starting your own radio station. He goes, you don't need those big guys because they're going to pull you into a contract and they're going to own your ass. And you're going to have to fight tooth and nail to get out of it. And you're going to be fucking dead broke by the time it's over with. And it's going to completely collapse you. He's like, you cannot do that. So I tell all these bands, I'm like, utilize what's in front of you. Utilize the internet. Utilize Facebook, Instagram. There's so much shit out there for you to utilize. You just have to have the drive. If you want it, you can have it.
It's true.
You just have to push yourself to do it.
And also that way, the right people will find you.
Because if you're trying to be, I don't know,
PC and like fit into everyone and be vanilla or whatever, and like be like, everyone likes you because you're safe. Like,
how real will you actually be?
Because you're not really being yourself. And then are you attracting like-minded people or just people that are like, they're too scared to stand up or something?
Right. So going into the last 5 minutes, I actually have a quick question.
The light's gone in this room. It's so weird. I don't know what happened in here.
Good. So if you could give advice to any upcoming musician that is just starting out, what advice would you give them?
Don't fuck around with the soap girls. No, I'm
Don't touch my pedal.
Don't do it half-heartedly. If you're gonna do it with everything you have.
Don't do it like you've got something to fall back on. Do it like this is your last breath of life and put everything that you've got into it.
And don't wait for others to tell you that it's gonna be okay. Just do it. Believe in yourself. Like, as cheesy as that is, just literally do it.
Because that is like the biggest power that you can have. If you can believe in yourself and you know what it is that your goal is and what you're doing, no one can touch you.
Stand for something. As long as you know what it is that you want to do, you can do it.
Yeah, I definitely am big on there, because it's like there's so many musicians and so many people in the entertainment industry that I see that I feel like they're almost doing it for the wrong reasons. Like, they want to be famous, they want to be known, but they're so heavy on everybody else's acceptance instead of accepting themselves. And I was like that at one time too. I was like, you know, I want to be known and blah, 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 blah. But if I wasn't getting that acceptance from everybody else, then I just tore myself down instead of being happy with what I was already doing and what I had already created. If you're not doing it for yourself, you're going to be disappointed.
That's why I respect people and artists that they're not scared of saying things that maybe offend other people, but that's them expressing themselves. Like, whether it's in comedy or music or movies,
imagery,
whatever. Like, they're not doing it because they want acceptance from other people. They're expressing what it is that they feel at a moment, and they're not waiting for people to go like, oh yeah, that's okay, you can do that.
I'd rather resonate with people that are comfortable enough to accept the fact that we're not all going to agree, but freedom is so vital and it's so necessary right now, especially, and that there's so much out there, but you just got to be willing to open your eyes and find
also
it.
be bold.
Yeah. What are you waiting for? Acceptance.
Yeah,
You never get to get it.
I was going to ask, I know there's occasions where you guys play topless.
Hmm.
Have you ever gotten any like major lashback at shows?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. We get like horrible messages, like
death threats,
and stuff. And
for me, I don't do it so much anymore. Sometimes I'll do like body paint, but if my boobs are bigger and like I'm jumping around and doing a lot of like acrobatic shit, it hurts, so I won't do it. But for me, skin is skin, and I think it's ridiculous that a woman doesn't have the same rights as a man.
But I love so when we play shows, especially like in America, then we say to the session drummer, like, okay, so you're gonna play butt naked, okay? And he's like, okay, cool. And it's funny because no one says anything about that. As soon as I take my top off, then they're like, oh, there's like some issues that I'm like, but his dick is out. But
Right.
that's not a problem. But like, and I have tiny tits. It's like, I could be a guy. Like,
no, dude. But I was gonna say, this is so annoying that a woman isn't allowed to own her own sexuality. So, for instance, if we were super sexual on that, and there were guys playing the instruments, and we
then
were
it would
just
be
dancing
fine.
on the stage, no issue.
Which is weird. I don't know. I find that.
But if you yourself are doing something and it's not sexual, you're just existing, suddenly
It's a problem,
like
because
breastfeeding women or women that are just topless, not wanting anything, it's an issue.
I think because sexuality has been like shoved so far down people's throat, and like pornography and sexualizing of women, that if you take it out of context and it's just a person that is with maybe like topless or whatever, people, it fucks with their head. They don't know how to like put it in a box, or like how do you react to something that's not asking you for anything. So it makes people either angry, or they accept it, or they're confused because they're angry and confused that they don't know how to react to you because you're not asking them for anything. So you're not giving them anything so that they can treat you like shit.
But it's really cool that it shows anyone who might have been shy initially feels super confident in their own skin and accepts themselves. And I love that. I really do.
Yeah, because I know there used to be a metal band called the Butcher Babies.
Oh, yeah.
We like them.
When they first came out, they played topless.
No way.
But then the minute that they got onto a big record label,
no,
that was gone. You never seen it again. Because the very first time I ever seen them, I'd never heard them. I heard the name. I was like, that's an interesting name. And I was like, all right, cool. Because they were touring with OTEP and another band called One Eyed Doll. And I went to Jacksonville to see them. And they were out there. They came out topless. And I'm like, all right, cool. And they were pretty extreme metal. I mean, they're heavy. And of course, they were
about them though, and I've seen it many times, because they look the way they do. They're very beautiful. A lot of people won't categorize them as metal. They'll say it's like pop with something, but because they look pretty, so they can't be doing metal.
Oh, they did, and they got a lot of flack because both of them were ex-Playboy Playmates also. So they got a lot of flack and a lot of shit. And they came out after the show, and I remember going up to them, and they were two of the nicest ladies I ever met. And I bought a shirt from them, sit there, talk to them for a minute, and they're like, yeah, we're actually going to quit doing the whole, topless thing. Because one, the record label doesn't like it. And two, we're getting touched, and we don't like that. We don't want that. It was just all for show. We just did it on stage, blah, 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 blah. It's just completely getting out of hand.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. See, when it's unfortunate, but like when you take like your top off and that, then you have to be ready to deal with like
some insane
insane and annoying shit. But like,
I'm sure you guys have got your hands of dealing with that bullshit too.
We've had some shows where it was like there was a show in Germany, and a guy came on stage and he tried to bite my boob. And then our manager took a glass bottle and she broke it on his leg.
No, because she said kindly to him, get away
the fuck off the stage. Get away from her.
No one. There were hundreds of people. No one helped or intervened. It was insane. This guy
security didn't do anything. And then he came and he tried to bite me on the thing. And then she just took a glass bottle and smashed it.
And then he was trying to fight our manager. So I was playing the bass. I didn't stop. And then I got in between them. and this guy, and then it's like, dude, it's just gonna be a beat down, and then you end up like fucking people off with the bass. It's like always the drums and the guitar keep playing, and then like it's just so unnecessary, man. I cannot even tell you how many times like there's just been a huge scuffle.
But I think as long as
Stupid.
like there's backlash and people think that it is okay to treat someone in a certain way because of how they dress or not dressed, then it needs to be done more, because people then there's a need to educate people, and maybe some people you can't educate because they're just fucking dumb. But I think a lot of people also need to like see like, hey, someone is like just being.
Like a lot of times people will bring their kids to our show and there's nothing sexual about our show. There's nothing inherently sexual about toplessness.
If they bring their kids and we're like, hey, the drama, you put your shorts on.
Yeah. But we feel so happy that it's such a, I don't know, accepting space. There's nothing weird or sinister. So I think
also it's good, and especially in today's times where like with like social media, especially young girls and even guys too, they think that they need to get like fillers and boob jobs and that because I don't know, they've got small boobs or their boobs are really big or one is up, one's down. And I think it's cool at a show if everyone takes their top off and people like, they're like, oh, well, no one gives a fuck about this. It's all in my head.
And I think it's important that kids are around people that show them it's okay to be yourself. It doesn't matter if you're different to other people. It's okay.
Yeah. Excellent. So on that, where would you guys like all of your fans to interact? Where do you interact the most, and where can people find your music and your merch?
Okay, so we run all our social media ourselves. So if you go onto YouTube, the Soap Girls Official, we live stream not most days of the week, but
a lot of days.
Every Monday we do a live stream. We do live streams randomly, like on a Wednesday, a Saturday, even throughout a tour.
You also can find us on Instagram,
Facebook. If you want to hear our music, we've got CD Baby, Deezer, Spotify.
Yes.
And what else is there?
Also,
iTunes.
Go find us on our TikTok while it's still up before it gets taken down again.
God damn. That's a very crazy
get in now.
So just if you like crazy shit and you've got a good sense of humor as well, go for it.
Yeah. And also come to a show.
Yeah, we will hopefully be having USA tour dates later this year when our visa issues cleared up. We should be touring there right now. It was so fucking sad. And we are touring Europe in October. So yeah, just keep an eye. Even if you go on our website, all the links are there. So it's www.thesoapgirls.com.
Excellent. All right, everybody, we are out of here. Have a happy Tuesday. Don't do stupid shit. Be kind to everybody. We will see you again Friday night, 9:00. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.